Hello my international darlings and welcome back to another video on my Rapist channel, and yes, that's me. So in the last video of the Mclennon series, I talked about the Beatlemania era and the many things that happened there. As always, I ended up forgetting some stuff, so in this video I will be talking about some things that happened in that period, but mostly about the psychedelic era. If you are new to this series, I highly recommend to you guys to watch the other videos so you can understand more about the timeline I'm following, but if you don't feel like watching them, that's okay. You will still be able to understand this video without any background. There is this very popular and well-known photo shoot by David Bailey in which we have those very beautiful pictures of Paul and John together. It was supposed to be just a Lennon's photo shoot, but he insisted for Paul to come along with him. Those pictures were taken in 1965, but the story behind it was only revealed in 2014 by Bailey himself. He said to British KG magazine, "I didn't like the Beatles. I liked John. I told John to close his eyes because I could feel this tension between him and Paul. I did them together afterwards. I got them working different ways because there was such a tension." There are several rumors about Bailey's bisexuality and him having a crush/affair with John. Although that is not proved, the way he talks about John and Paul seems like more some kind of jealousy, as if Bailey could not comprehend that the tension was of another kind. Later on, those rumors would get even stronger. In Geoffrey Juliano's book, Lennon in America, he related a story that was told to him during a dinner party in 1993 at Gloria Hunniford's house. A friend of Gloria, who asked not to be identified, told Geoffrey about a bash she went to in London in that same year of the photo shoot in 1965. She said that walking around the house with a friend, they happened to pass by a bedroom door and peered inside, only to find John Lennon passively engaged with anal sex with a well-known male celebrity photographer. The photographer in question was not confirmed, but many people believe it was Bailey. I know there are probably much more important things about that era, and because of that, I strongly encourage you guys to participate in the comments, because some people include very nice information and it makes the series even richer. In the last video, Yake Beatles remind me of the whole Miami hurricane situation. What many believe was the occasion mentioned in Paul's song, Here Today, when he talks about the night we cried. In fact, last year in New York, there was a play written by Bob Stevens and directed by Carol Dune that is about this very situation. It's called Only Yesterday.
Any other ideas?
Anyway, to finish this recap, I would like to include audio from some interviews and studio recordings where John and Paul are flirting and being silly with each other. There are many more, but those are the ones I find more interesting for us to at least try to understand what was going on.
Topless frocks are the big news. A topless swimsuit.
Oh, you dirty thing!
Look, George is going to talk again, will he please?
I'll have you know, I've been wearing one for years. It sounds a vaguely good idea, but I wouldn't have my wife or any of my friends wearing them.
Well, you've had us wearing them.
I know, Paul. You're so well built.
To say about the girls that you do. All right.
The good things that
We just had to. Could be there and it couldn't.
Could be where?
There. Or it couldn't. All right, Paul, come along now. What's wrong? Oh, I'm so sorry. I feel so stupid. I don't know what to do. Gosh. Yes, we're only doing walk-ons and you're farting those up. Nell! Oh, Christ, you'll give us a kiss. Ha! Okay. Oh, that might be an idea. I'm lying
Okay,
down.
let's take it from the top and run it.
Don't take it from the top.
I
In
mean,
the same place.
yes, okay.
I'll be overpowering this time. Oh, good. I like it when you're beautiful.
Enough of yeah, let's go straight to the main topic of this episode, the psychedelia. We could say that 1966 was the period of transition during those two eras. It was when they started taking drugs. Well, it was not as if they never did drugs before, but Bob Dylan introduced them to real marijuana and George and John's doctor introduced them to LSD. Weed and acid were somehow important components of Beatles music, and most people know that. What they don't know is that those drugs affected Lennon and McCartney's relationship as well. In the book Many Years From Now by Barry Miles, Paul explained in detail how his first trip with John was. He said, "I thought maybe this is the moment where I should take a trip with him. It's been coming for a long time. It's often the best way without thinking about it too much, just slip into it. John's on it already, so I was sort of catch up. It was my first trip with John, or with any of the guys. We stayed up all night, sat around and hallucinated a lot. Me and John, we'd know each other for a long time. Along with George and Ringo, we were best mates. And we looked into each other's eyes, the eye contact thing we used to do, which is fairly mind-boggling. You dissolve into each other, but that's what we did. Round about that time, that's what we did a lot, and it was amazing. You're looking into each other's eyes, and you would want to look away, but you wouldn't. And you could see yourself in the other person. It was a very freaky experience, and I was totally blown away. There is something disturbing about it. You ask yourself, how do you come back from it? How do you even then lead a normal life after that? And the answer is, you don't. After that, you've got to get trapped in it, or you've got to get to meditate for the rest of your life. You've got to make a decision which way you're going to go. I would walk out into the garden. Oh no, I've got to go back in. It was very tiring. Walking made me very tired. Wasted me, always wasted me. But I've got to do it for my well-being. In the meantime, John had been sitting around very enigmatically, and I had a big vision of him as a king, the absolute emperor of eternity. It was a good trip, it was great, but I wanted to go to bed after a while. I just had enough after about 4 or 5 hours. John was quite amazed that it had struck me in that way. John said, "Go to bed? You won't sleep." I know that. I've still got to go to bed. I thought, now that's enough fun and partying. Now it's like we drink. That's enough. That was a lot of fun. Now I gotta go to bed and sleep this off. But of course, you don't just sleep off an acid trip, so I went to bed and hallucinated a lot in bed. I remember Maul coming and checking that I was alright. Yeah, I think so. I mean, I could feel every inch of the house, and John seemed like some sort of emperor in control of it all. It was quite strange. Of course, he was just sitting there, very incrustable. In Derek Taylor's book, 50 Years Adrift, published in 1983, he says, "Paul and Maul Evans came to stay with us somewhere in the late spring of 1967. Paul and Maul, this time, were full of tales of this here LSD and what it could do. Paul said he and John had this fantastic thing, which really wasn't very informative, so I pressed him to flesh it out. Incredible, really, just locked into each other's eyes, like just staring and then saying, 'I know, man,' and then laughing. And it was great, you know." Realizing he wasn't getting through, Paul said. You just have to try it. The psychedelic experiences inspired them to write many songs. One of them was A Day in the Life, and although the next episode is only going to be about the songs, I would like to include here another quote from Miles' book. When we wrote I'd Love to Turn You On, John and I gave each other a knowing look. Uh-oh, this is a drug song. You know that, don't you? Yes, but at the same time, our stuff is always very ambiguous and turn you on can be sexual, so come on. As John and I looked at each other, a little flash went between our eyes. Like, I'd love to turn you on, a recognition of what we were doing. It was during the psychedelic times that they met Maharishi and decided to go on a spiritual retreat in India. They went there 2 times, the first one in 1967 and the second one in the beginning of 1968. Many Mclennon believers think about India as the starting point of the later divorce between the two. And they have reasons for that. It was in India that John started writing Jealous Guy, a song about Paul, but I'll let this for the next video. By looking at the pictures of them in India, you can sense something going on. Even though that is not proof, I like to point that out, especially because those pictures are probably my favorite ones. There is something deep about them that I can explain. The facts we all know about India is that Paul and Ringo decided to leave earlier than what they planned, while John and George decided to stay there. Right after John came back home, he and Paul went to New York to promote Apple Records. It was during this trip Paul met Linda, and right after they came back to London, John started to deepen his relationship with Yoko. It was also after New York that Michael Herring, a 19-year-old art student, took a picture of John and George at Harrison's house, with Paul's resignation letter on the front pocket of George's shirt. Maybe, for some, those are proof enough to believe that something tragic happened between John and Paul in India. Maybe for some, it isn't. What we can't deny is that the following years were very destructive for the relationship, and for themselves too. And that's it, my international darlings. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you like it, make sure to press the thumbs up button and share with a friend you think might like it too. Subscribe to become a certified international darling. I don't know what that is, but it sounds cool, right? I try to post videos every Friday, sometimes even more than one a week, so turn on the notifications to stay tuned. Your feedback is always welcome in the comments, and if you're watching this until now, comment Mclennon is real. See you guys in the next video. Bye bye.